Nicer weather this weekend does not mean our avalanche danger is gone. It was a deadly weekend in the mountains. The pandemic started almost 3 years ago. This week, some hospitals are lifting their mask mandates. And a local woman reflects on her time helping Turkey through a deadly earthquake years ago. Now her nephew is doing the same thing. We start this 5 o'clock hour with a look outside at I-25 in Colfax. Denver police say 2 drivers crashed in this area just within the last hour. I-25 southbound had been closed just north of Colfax. Crews just reopened 2 lanes, but you should still expect some delays as we are seeing on these cameras. Now, a live but fuzzy look at the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels. I'll tell you what you can't see. It's been snowing in the mountains this afternoon. You could probably guess that from this picture. That ski drive home could be pretty tough. And tonight, the state is warning, even as snowfall slows down, avalanche danger remains a concern. 2 backcountry skiers were found dead overnight in the southern mountains after getting buried by an avalanche. The state's Avalanche Information Center says the 2 people were caught, buried, and killed in an avalanche near Vallecito Reservoir near Durango. La Plata County rescue crews say those folks left to go skiing at 7 in the morning yesterday. They had plans to return by noon, but at 9 o'clock at night, they were reported missing. Crews used some cell phone records to find them with beacon technology, and around 3:30 in the morning, they found them buried in several feet of snow. The Avalanche Information Center also says a snowmobiler is now missing in another avalanche, this one in the southern mountains, and another snowmobiler is hurt from an avalanche near Wolf Creek Pass. That area got about 35 inches of snow last week. Now, even though the avalanche danger is reducing a little bit, it's still rated at moderate. The state says the southern mountains got more snow and stronger winds than normal. We've had some very high winds today, and along with that, higher fire danger in areas where the snow has already melted. West Metro Fire tells us they've had extra resources on standby just in case today. Chris Bianchi, you told us this was going to happen today, and I'm curious how bad these winds got throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, those winds are actually right now starting to ramp on up. If you're joining us from Boulder, Fort Collins, you're probably starting to notice those winds ramp on up over the course of the last hour or so. I just saw a gust of 40 miles an hour in Boulder, and again, those winds are just starting to pick up as we speak. But it's been, as you just mentioned there, Jenny, a pretty wild weather Sunday for us here across Colorado. How about this? In the mountains, we're getting snowfall. In the eastern plains, we're getting thunderstorms. But the bigger concern right now would be here into the higher terrain. That's where that snow is still falling. Of course, we've still got I-70 and 285 ski traffic. So that means that we are looking at some of those blustery, but also some snowy conditions. That's making travel pretty difficult out this way. Earlier on this afternoon, how about this? We had a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Baca and Prowers counties. That made it the first severe thunderstorm warning anywhere in Colorado in the month of February in 23 years. So very unusual weather for us here across Colorado today with that mix of thunderstorms and snow in the month of February. Good news is, at least in terms of the eastern plains, those showers and storms are departing as we speak, and that snow should lighten on up for the most part here into the mountains overnight tonight. But that snow kind of gradually picks back up along and north of I-70 for our day tomorrow. But the bigger story as we head through the overnight hours, you're looking at it. Those winds that could gust on up into the range of 75 miles an hour for us into the foothills, southeast Colorado. Maybe some of those gusts as strong as 75 miles an hour for us as well. Again, these winds are only starting to crank on up for the foothills. In southeastern Colorado, those winds will gradually die on down as we head through the overnight hours. So again, that wind gust forecast as we head through the foothills, those winds pick up tonight. In southeast Colorado, those winds die on down. And final note here, today, 62 degrees for us here in Denver, making it our warmest day in about 2 months. But it does cool on down tomorrow. I'll have more details on how cool it gets coming up in my full forecast.
Chris, thank you. Today, Buena Vista honored the life of a young Marine who died. Christopher Hutchings was just 19 years old. He just graduated high school last year. His body was found in his barracks at Camp Pendleton. Today, the town of Buena Vista honored him with a procession and a funeral. Tomorrow, Jefferson County will be honoring K-9 Graffiti. He was with the department since 2015. Graffiti was shot and killed in the line of duty earlier this month. This happened near Colorado School of Mines. Authorities had sent him after a man who was armed that they say was slumped over his steering wheel, then ran from police and then fired. The memorial service is not open to the public, but they will be streaming it online at Flatirons Community Church website, and that starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Nearly 3 years since the start of the pandemic, 3 years, can you believe that? 2 major hospital systems in our area are now preparing to lift their mask requirements for patients and staff. So starting on Wednesday, Denver Health says patients can lose the mask if they are asymptomatic. Same with vaccinated staff and visitors. If a patient has respiratory symptoms or if a staff member is unvaccinated, they will still be required to wear a mask. And UC Health, they're lifting their mask mandate for patients and staff starting on Wednesday. They tell us that they are encouraging people who have respiratory symptoms or are not fully vaccinated to still wear a mask. And they say there are certain situations where masks could be required if the patient has an infectious disease. But UC Health says that was always the case, even before the pandemic. This week, one of the donation sites helping some of the migrants coming to Denver will actually be closing down. The Little Saigon community site on Federal Boulevard will accept donations for the last time on Tuesday. That will be open from noon until 5 that day. However, last week, a new donation site opened, so you can still bring donations. This is at the First Baptist Church of Denver. They're accepting donations every Thursday and Friday at the Interfaith Alliance of Colorado office inside. That's the group running the donation site. You can donate items on Thursdays from 10 to 1 or Fridays from noon to 3. The city's website has a request list for the items that they need the most, and they say, please, only donate items on that list. About 50,000 people are now dead following the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria this month. That many people, including some here in Colorado, many of the people have been doing what they can to help collect donations or raise money for people in need. And a Lakewood woman, she survived a major earthquake in 1999 in Turkey, and she went on to help rescue other people. And as 9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry now explains, her nephew is now doing the same.
It's funny, who has photographs anymore, right?
For Beyhan Maybach, pictures are the reminder she needs of her time surviving, then rescuing others in the 1999 earthquake in Turkey.
And I hadn't looked at them for a very long time.
But it's the old photos that help tell a new story.
Because people are in dire condition.
That's Gurgan Titis, Beyhan's nephew, who survived the recent quake in Turkey and decided to help.
So there was this field hospital for the patients that were affected by the earthquake.
What was the hardest thing for you? I'm just curious.
We saw a 14-year-old kid rescued from the rubble. Seeing him trying to speak, and he was really deprived of water and food. It was kind of hard to just contain all of your emotions and stay focused while seeing persons affected.
How this affects everyone is different. For Beyhan, it's hard.
I'm of course proud of him, but
not to get emotional about it.
This is not about us, really. It's about those people.
Ezgi Karasozin would agree it's not about her.
Turkey's home.
But it's about what she and others can do to help their home country. Ezgi is a seismologist. She studies earthquakes for a living.
I mean, I've been studying these for more than a decade now. And I still couldn't help prevent this. That's the powerlessness that I'm still feeling.
These two hope sharing their stories will help others remember what has happened and what is yet to come.
Make sure that we won't forget and then keep helping.
Jaleesa Irizarry, 9 News.
Beyhan and Ezgi are part of the Turkish American Cultural Society of Colorado. They're hosting a fundraiser next Saturday to support earthquake relief. And we've got more information about that on our website. If you're interested, just click on the link to this story. Tomorrow, the matching process starts for families who applied for universal pre-K. That deadline was Friday. The program gives kids up to 15 hours of free preschool per week the year before they are kindergarten eligible. The state says they will try to pair families up based on available space. And families will learn who they matched with at the end of March. After that, they will look at the next batch of applicants. On Tuesday, DIA will be holding an open house to talk through different ways to improve the route out to the airport. We're talking about Peña Boulevard. The airport says that road was built back in 1995 and does not meet current design standards. So they're looking at some different scenarios, like adding lanes or possibly lanes only for buses. They also want to make Peña Boulevard safer and more reliable. They want people in nearby neighborhoods like Montbello, Green Valley Ranch, Gateway. That's who they're looking to weigh in here.
Recognizing that these neighborhoods are historically disadvantaged and understanding the equity element and lens of this project is absolutely critical.
Tuesday's open house is at Vista Academy in Green Valley Ranch. It runs from 5 to 7 o'clock. The airport hopes to have a plan ready by the end of the year.